Hi, and welcome to the Backyard Road Trips podcast. I'm Zach.
I'm Jim.
And today we have with us Laura Giles. Welcome, Laura, to our podcast.
It's fantastic to be here. Thanks for having me.
Can you tell us a little bit about who you are and what you do?
Well, as it relates to travel, I think I've always had the travel bug since I was little, and I couldn't wait to go anywhere. And we had a motorhome growing up, so we would do road trips. And I think that just fed me. And as soon as I could get on the road, man, it was just like, it's all over. And I've just been doing it ever since.
Definitely. I hear that. It's just, if I consider myself kind of like a dog where I just want to go. It doesn't matter where I go. And Jim will probably say other things about me being like a dog. But that's okay.
He's very loyal, is what I'd say, Laura.
Great. So, as we do here, our road tripping typically is closer to our backyard, meaning here in New England, and we are both fathers of children, and it really limits our ability to get out that far these days. So we love to have guests on and just hear about what they do for travel and what travel, where they like to go. So speaking of,
sorry,
see, look at that.
Yeah, this is what it is.
Mine are locked downstairs, so
yeah, in the dungeon, in the cage. Laura, do you have kids that you have to negotiate your travel plans with?
I do not.
What about? I mean, maybe I'm jumping the gun here, but like you are a somewhat of a travel planner. Like for you coach people through travel experiences. Do you ever have to factor in their kids?
Yeah, sure. I do that for people. It's kind of like on a side. When I first started, I was a professional belly dancer and I would go to Egypt a lot. And that's a real boutique thing. And so I would put together trips for people and that's how that got started. That's not my main thing, but I just like even thinking about it and just planning it. So even if I'm not going somewhere, I just love all of that. What's the cool thing around the corner that nobody knows about? I love those moments. So yeah, I like travel planning as well.
Where are you located right now?
I'm in Virginia.
Okay. So do you have like local things that you would recommend to tourists who are visiting Virginia, but maybe you're avoiding the normal tourist stops or?
That's interesting. You know how they say that you forget everything in your own backyard and you can have this amazing thing that's right next to you and you've never been there. So that was me until recently. And lately, I don't think it had anything to do with COVID. I just started riding my bike. Yep. And so I started going and just discovering these streets that I'd never been down, these neighborhoods, these country stores. And I was just like, oh my God, there's so much right here. And so I started doing little road trips, just an hour away or just something, get up early in the morning and go. So that's been a new thing for me. My travel has been more further and requires more planning, but that's amazing as well.
Oh, cool.
Definitely some backyard road trips for you right there in your own region. So
for sure.
Now talking about you are a guide to different groups that you take. Can you tell a little bit about that?
So I used to own a residential tree service and then we had a busy hurricane season. It was just slammed. We were so busy and I just needed a break. I'm like, I don't care. Anywhere, wherever. I really didn't care. I just wanted to be like quick and not have to think about anything. And I'm looking at all these places that were available. And I don't know, as I'm thinking about it, it doesn't sound like Egypt is that place, but that's where I ended up going. And that really kicked off the spiritual travel for me because it just blew everything wide open. So before that, I really liked traveling still. But Egypt was different because I just felt so alive there. There was so much noise and life right in your face. And there's so many sacred places. And there's the ancient Egypt that we all hear about, plus the modern Egypt. And those energies are so different. And it was really stimulating, but at the same time, it was very grounding. And I just never been any place like that before. And it was fascinating. And I had to share it with other people. I mean, I think it's wonderful to have an experience, but you do want to share it with other people. And that's kind of how the taking other people places happened.
So could you talk a little bit about spiritual travel and exactly what that is?
Well, it's evolved for me. So in the beginning, it was really, I thought about the place and the energy of the ley lines and the temples and the history of what happened there. And so in the beginning, I would focus on places that were on the ley lines, especially the rainbow serpent line and the plume serpent line, because they're just so powerful. It never fails to do something amazing. You'd always have this transformative experience there. But then what I found out, it's more than that. It's really, what are you bringing to it? What is the group bringing to it? And where are you in life? Because sometimes what happens isn't pleasant. It's still good for you and it's still transformative. It's just probably not what you would ask for. So it's not just the place that makes it sacred. I think it's you and what you bring to it. So, as far as backyard travel, it could be your backyard if you have the right intention.
Would you say it's usually like a religious component, or can something be sacred? Like you talked about your time in Egypt, and was that also a religious experience for you, or was that just like the whole change of perspective and experience for you was in itself sacred?
It's more sacred than religious. So sometimes we would go to temples and cathedrals, and those are beautiful, and they have wonderful energy there, but it's bigger than that. I think it's not, doesn't have anything to do with, a miracle happened here. It could be that, but it's bigger than that. It's more, it's not really related to a time or a place or a religion or anything. It's more about the energy and how you kind of engage with that energy. So for example, we went to the Chalice Well, which is in Glastonbury, England. And a first timer was there. She was not in a good place. And she says, I need something different. And she goes and she stands in the water and she just starts like convulsing almost. Well, not almost, she was. and I don't know what she was feeling, but she was just releasing, and she's crying and she's laughing. And, these things kind of happen because you're ready for it, because you want it, because of the place, because you feel held. It's happened there a million times. It's just, I don't know. It's really kind of hard to describe what happens, and you can't really predict it because everybody's different. And I've been places, year after year, and it's not the same ever. It'd be like, okay, this is the place where this is going to happen. It doesn't happen like that.
Wow.
So, for instance, like Egypt, you experienced it on your own, and then you wanted to share that experience with others.
Uh-huh.
How did your taking other people or group of people these places start?
Well, so I come from a big family, a very close family. And I think everything for me growing up is about connection and family and sharing, because that's just what I grew up in. My moon is in Cancer. So, that's just who I am. And because I was a belly dancer too at that time, we had that connection already. And every belly dancer wants to go to Egypt. That's like the motherland. So we went and we did that piece of it, which was amazing. And if you know the history of belly dance, I mean, it's ancient and it's feminine and it's sensuous. And I don't mean sexual, although it could be that as well, but it kind of puts you in this place where you're receptive and open and in your body. And from there, you can really feel. And so everything's available and you're already open. And so it just comes to you. And so when we would go to these places, like there's a temple that we went to that's not normally open to the public. And we were in there, and it's a little teeny tiny place. And there's we're a small group of people in this little teeny tiny place. It's totally dark. There's just one little window, and there's a statue there of a god. And we're in the dark, which sounds so kind of weird, with this statue. And then you can start hearing people sniffling and crying, and everybody's having their experience. And it even started before we got into the temple. So we're walking up to the temple and we're like, talking and having a good time. And then almost like crossing the threshold of it, you just become part of the energy there. And we just got real quiet and just went within. And there's something about the energy that makes you just want to be in it and be quiet and receive. And for me, it was like receiving the love of a mother. It not really like being held, because it wasn't physical. It was bigger than that even. It was like, I don't know, energetically maybe. the words just they're not adequate, but it's almost like saying like, it's okay. I've got you. You're here. I'm here. Let's be here. And it was so soft and so feminine, but at the same time, there was father energy there too, because it was very protective. And I'd never felt anything like that before. And I didn't have anything to do with the God that was there because I had no relationship with the God. So it wasn't religious in that way. It was just, I'm here in my presence, you're here in your presence, and we're here because the group was there and everybody had their own individual experience. And then we got to talk about it. And the cool thing about that is when you have something like that happen and somebody's with you, they're the only people that can really understand it because they were there too. So we didn't all have the same experience, but they were just like, yeah, I got it. I know.
How do you find these spaces? Do you have like a list of things you've wanted to check out, or you keep an encyclopedia of places that these experiences are known to be destinations for people?
Well, so now they have all kinds of channels that talk about sacred spaces, so everybody knows. But back in the day, that didn't exist. And so you just kind of had to feel it out. I mean, I knew about the ley lines, and so I would just find places on the ley lines. And then I would just say, okay, that looks interesting. And it always was. So there's something really magical, I think, about just waiting for the intuition or the impulse. And that's how I have chosen. And it's the same with who comes. I don't have a big mailing list where I'm just like, hey, come on over, because I want you to be drawn to it. And in the beginning, there would always be this one, but it's like, how did you get here? But maybe like 15 years ago, that stopped happening. And it's always been, if you are here, you're meant to be here. Even if you are the cranky one, there's something that you need and there's something that we need from you. And by the time it's like day 2, day 3, we're a community, we're a family, and it's just gelling. So I just have a lot of trust about the itinerary and who comes. I don't sweat any of it.
Nice.
Do you have people discover it, or is it mostly the same people that come?
It's mostly the same, but there are people who discover it. And I'm like, where did you come from? And it's just totally random. We have had people come from Meetup. Once we've had people come from Eventbrite once, and it's just so strange, it's just like, I don't know, if I came across that, I'm not sure that I would go. It's like, who are these weird people? What are they doing? So I think you do have to be called to it.
How local are these? Do you have stuff like in Virginia or in the United States, or is it all overseas, or what is?
So we've been to Sedona, which is a big destination. We've been to Mount Shasta, also a big destination. We've been to Asheville, big destination. We're doing something a little different in the fall. We're going to Wilmington, which is not known for sacred travel. So we're doing a little something different in the fall. And what I've discovered is that what makes the group work is emotional safety. And I think when you have that emotional safety, that's when you can become a unit. You can become a tribe. And I think that's one of the reasons really why it doesn't really matter where you go. If you have that, every place is sacred. So we're going to really focus on being in one place and being together. We're going to eat together. We're going to play games. We're going to be outside. We're going to ride bikes. That area is known for shag dancing, and we're going to have a shag lesson.
Cool.
See how that goes. And just, do some wholesome things. That was my family, and that is my family. And I really love that family vibe, and that's really what it is. And I'm hoping that people who don't have that learn what it is and can take it home with them.
If you're having these sort of these multi-day like trips, how much of that is planned and how much of that is like sort of free form attendees can kind of experience or take the day as they will versus how much is, you're planning it out for them, meals and so forth?
I think about 50-50. So I don't like to be real regimented, and everybody needs their own space. So we typically have a lot of room to, I don't feel like it today, I'm opting out. You can absolutely do that. Or I'm not having dinner with y'all, I'm going on my own, or whatever, for whatever reason, you might want to do that. So, and I want to do that as well. Or let's say that there's something really spectacular. I want to spend some more time there. There's always time for things like that. So it's not total group thing. It's you, it's us, it's this, it's all of it.
Now, do you book like a block of rooms at a hotel, or do people have to find their own accommodations when they're on on a tour with you?
No. So once you're on the tour, then you just show up and everything is pretty much done until we give it back on the plane. You can there's flexibility within it, but you don't have to do anything. You don't have to book anything. You don't have to find your own meals. You don't have to do any of that. So I do ask for people to be well traveled enough to like hail a cab and find your way. So I learned the hard way. One of the first trips we ever went on, we hit the ground in Egypt, and these are all first time Egypt people, and we're going to the bazaar. They've never been here before, and we don't have everybody's in different cabs, so we need several cabs. The first group gets in the cab and takes off. I'm like, it's a maze. You are never going to find these people again. Fortunately, I did give everybody a card. This is a hotel. If you get lost, find your way back. And they did. But it's just, I don't even know why somebody would do something like that. But, you do have the freedom. You can do it if you want to, but you got to find your way back.
Well, that'll do it for us at Backyard Road Trips. Thank you to Laura for coming on the show. You can find us anywhere that you get your podcast or on backyardroadtrips.com.